I mean, because the reality is we're packing to move right now.
Jim, I have a question for you. Do you
Yeah, come on over here.
Okay.
You can talk real quick.
Do you
Yes, Mom.
forget a lot of times that when your father and I met, I was much more interesting than him for the things that I would have done?
I feel
and gonna
like,
do?
yeah.
That you forget that he was a lot less adventurous.
Yeah. And I think it's funny because you guys were that way in college, and then the way I know you is more opposite of that, because you're the one who then prefers to like be at home at her desk and painting and all that, and then he's the one out there normally like you're having to rein him in.
I'm laughing in a way because the reality still today in a lot of ways is the opposite. Not what you see.
Yeah.
Okay. In that I push your dad a lot to go out and do things.
Well, I mean, we all know he'd be happy living in a cave in Ecuador or something.
Yeah. But it's just funny to me that what your guys' perception,
The climate in Ecuador is perfect.
just what your perception is versus the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So anyway, I was just curious because your reaction when I brought up gator wrestling.
Oh yeah, like I cannot picture you like in the front row of a gator wrestling pit cheering them on. That's just like
I would have been there in a heartbeat.
Oh, I can. I totally can.
That's just like completely contrary.
I
to
would
my
still
image of
do
you.
it now.
You
I would go now. Oh yeah.
Huh.
Just to say I've been there and done it.
Interesting.
I may not go back to another one.
Yeah.
But that one that I go to, I will fully be there for it. You know that your sister misunderstood something and didn't hear that I was interested in roller derby, but that I had done roller derby.
Oh, she thought you'd done. I could totally picture you as someone who had done roller
I just
derby.
never had the opportunity. Okay,
Yeah.
I would have done it.
I want to throw in yet.
I don't know how many over 40 leagues there are out there, but anyway. But she told one of her teachers that I did roller derby.
Wow.
To which her teacher goes, "Oh, that explains a lot." For Grace. And I'm like, and I look at Grace and I'm like, I've never done roller derby.
And as of yet, that's something that doesn't happen every day. My name is Benjamin Hedgspeth. Welcome to that super long intro with my my co-host here, my beautiful, amazing, non-roller derbying yet wife,
Elizabeth.
There we go.
I had to bring Jay in just for a second because the look he gave me when I brought up gator wrestling in the last episode was hilarious.
Yep.
It was just like total shock.
So, yeah, no, that's true. I would not have gone to a gator wrestling thing. Part of it is because I only want to use my money for things that feel like it has some sort of purpose or it's going to be like an actual value. So, like, I would have gone like, okay, high school. They might be Giants concert. Yes, please. I would do that over and over again. No problem. I think at the Thunderdome, it was $17 to get in plus a cover charge or whatever. And I'm not drinking, so whatever.
Me in high school?
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't have paid for that, and I would have ended up backstage.
Oh, no, I know. I'm not a hot 17-year-old.
Not that it was like creepy. Oh my gosh, that sounds like so creepy now. But just the way my life worked in high school, and in college, I would
flirted to get what you wanted.
It wasn't completely that. It was just where I ended up and the things I ended up doing. I was just there.
Completely that.
Oh, I totally knew it would work.
So remember, I finished my senior year with that horrible banana curl in my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I
that
weighed
you fought for years.
25 pounds or whatever more than I do now. And it was a totally different gig. I did not have the ladies fawning all over me back in high school.
Well, I would like to say I didn't have the ladies fawning over me, but I did have a couple playing softball.
You did play softball. Yep.
I didn't realize it at the time.
No.
Until somebody told me after the fact.
But that's not what we're talking about
anyway,
today. We're talking about another road trip because it's road trip week. How's that for a segue?
Today
with
we
a
get
brick
to bring
wall.
the kids into a road trip, though. We're going to Colorado.
Yep.
in this road trip.
Yep, that's a lot better.
And it happened a couple of years ago before we were
sweet Moses.
moving cross country.
Please don't fire me. Sorry, go ahead.
Fire you?
I don't know.
How could I fire
Not
you?
Not you.
Oh.
My employers.
Anyway.
Go ahead.
So weird. I'm totally lost. Anyway, now I've got to pull it back. You totally it shot me off in the thing. Anyway, okay. So in 2016, we took our first big road trip as a family.
Yep.
Now,
well,
I say big. I'm saying big.
Yeah.
Not just driving back from Topsail or something like that.
Or Destin or whatever.
Yeah.
We've done 11
East
to
Coast.
7 hour drives.
Yeah. You mean 7 to 11, 11 to 7.
Whatever.
Sounds
Who
a little
cares?
weird.
The longest to the shortest, shortest to the longest.
But this was all the way to Colorado, so it was a 2-day trip.
Mm-hmm.
We rented a van.
Down by the river.
And the van was like super exciting to the kids because it like had mood lights on the inside.
I remember those.
And they thought
The
that was
kids
super
thought
cool.
that was amazing.
Did it have a TV for movies?
I think so, yeah.
I don't remember because I was up front, so you couldn't see it. It did.
So when you say we rented a van and it had mood lighting, people are picturing like that 70s box van with little circle windows in the back and no other windows.
That would have made the trip like 1,000 times better.
This is like a standard 4-door minivan.
In theory.
Yeah.
We will talk in the next episode about another road trip.
Right.
And I'm going to say that sometimes those vintage vehicles do not make road trips better.
No.
So there's a little tease. But on the surface, that sounds like it would be like, yes, that would make the story so epic.
Right.
We threw all the kids in the back of a van, and we just took off. No, it was a standard minivan.
Right.
And it was brand new, so that was exciting to them. We did have a minivan at that time, but it didn't have many options.
And I think the
that we'll
VHS
use.
player on it had quit working at that point.
No, it didn't. That one didn't have a TV.
Oh, it didn't?
No, the Sienna didn't have a
Oh,
TV.
the Sienna. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the Montana. We've had multiple minivans.
The Montana had been gone for a long time by that point.
Smashed into a brick. Thank you, Kenny.
But anyway, we were going out to Colorado to visit your sister.
Yeah, that's
and
my
their
only
family,
sibling.
out there, which was a lot of fun. And it was a neat trip to plan. Our first trip, like we set off, we did lunch in St. Louis.
Oh, we're going to go with that much detail. Okay.
We love St. Louis, just outside.
I legit like
Charles.
St. Louis. Yeah.
Right there, getting to stop right there on the Missouri River, and that's a great little spot to stop.
Good barbecue
so we
down
timed
there.
it
It's
right,
just quiet. Yeah.
to do a picnic right there,
St. Charles, Missouri.
and then took off and kept going. We were finding like all the little coffee shops too we could, and we like found one called Old School that was a froyo and coffee shop.
Yep.
And it was the town was so small. I don't remember the name of the town now, but it was by the
gosh, I
Missouri
have no
Kansas
idea.
border.
Yeah.
And the lady there was from Hawaii.
Yeah.
You kind of like one of those questions like, well, how did you land here?
That's the one where the froyo was on the opposite side of the restaurant from the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, why are there hipsters in this town of 300 people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was nice. I got a nice cup of coffee for the road and everything, and then we kept going. But then we ended in Salina.
Or Selena. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Salina.
Sure.
But then the funny thing there was the number of Tesla chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked that they had so many Tesla chargers there.
That's like the intersection in Kansas, though.
Yeah. So, because in Louisville, there weren't that many at the time. And
Yeah.
this was back in 2016. There are more now there. So there were more.
Here it is. Found it.
Oh, so you found Old School Coffee?
It's Old School Frozen Yogurt and Coffee Company
Still open?
in Sweet Springs, Missouri. It's got 5 stars on Yelp. It's 1,392 miles away from us here.
So a little bit of a drive.
Yeah. But not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
No, not at all. They were just, it was a fun
But
stop.
it was worth pulling off the highway and finding.
Yeah, it was totally worth that.
Yeah. So if you ever find yourself driving through that stretch of I-70 then, coming up between Columbia and Kansas City, check it out.
Then our night in Salina was nice. It was normal, nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're like in a Holiday Inn, probably something like that. Then the next night we went on to Monument Valley.
Okay.
And it was cool seeing the mountains kind of come up
Uh-huh.
because we were going across Kansas, and that whole drive is you're just slowly gaining elevation.
Right.
And you don't realize that you're sitting at 4,000 feet or whatever. I mean, it was nuts. It was still flat, not mountainous, but we were that high up.
Yeah.
Or 2,000. I can't remember exactly, but I just know that the elevation was much higher than you expect. Hence the name High Plains.
Right.
But we get into Monument Valley and the Springs, and we drive around. We get to kind of look at some things, and it's fun.
It's beautiful to look. The country's just beautiful.
We totally forgot about time change.
Yes.
And we're like, oh, it's dinner time. Let's go eat. And I'm like, nobody is at the restaurant. Absolutely nobody is anywhere.
Yeah.
And it was so strange. And I'm like, why isn't anybody eating? I would have thought it would have been a little busier. It's June. It's not like we're in an off season here.
Right.
We didn't realize we were eating dinner at 3 p.m.
I'm sure Manitou Springs. There it is. I'm gonna see if I can find the restaurant again.
Yeah, it was a great spot, but
on the river, like right on the river.
There were a lot more people there when we were leaving than when we got there. I could tell.
Yeah, no, that's true. Everybody was looking at us walking out after we'd eaten our meal, and they're like, "Who are those people?
And I was like,
What are they doing?"
The time change really messed with us.
Yeah, forget it. I'm not going to dig through all of Manitou Springs for restaurants.
And
That's okay.
Then we stayed somewhere interesting that night.
Woof. All right, so what you guys want to do right now, if you're not driving, is you want to hop on Yelp, and you want to hit that search bar, and you want to type in Ramada, Monument Valley. Doing it right now just to verify.
To make sure it's all still there, because for a while your review has been up pretty high on that one.
Yeah.
Because it was a little bit of an adventure.
This is Monument Valley, Utah.
I can't tell you that night the qualifying for the U.S. Olympic team was going on.
Yeah.
For gymnastics. So we were watching that. That was kind of interesting to get to do as a family.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. I'm not going to do a whole lot of phone searching right now. So when we pulled up, it looked like it was mostly hotel, but when you got out of the car, you could hear the bar.
It was a bar with a hotel attached, not a hotel with a bar. And I always make it's mandatory for me. If we're going to stay the night somewhere, we have to get breakfast in the morning at that same spot. Breakfast bar is mandatory. And this place had breakfast, and so that's why you chose it.
The pictures looked good, but they were just old pictures. You know, they're not dated and time-stamped or anything. So it looked good. They said they had a full breakfast bar. You know, it must have been stock photos or something, and I did not read the Yelp reviews. And, oh, my gosh, I left them one.
So we were in a non-smoking room.
Yep. It was smoky. Cigarette butts on the floor.
Yeah. In the closet, like there was an actual
cigarette butts just laying around in the room. The plush indoor chair was soaked, and upholstered chair sitting outside on the balcony, just soaked.
Yeah. There were holes in the wall.
Multiple holes in the wall. The coffee maker, the inside was just filthy. The cups, the paper cups that came with the coffee maker were A, out of their plastic, and B, either had old melted cheese or mustard in them.
It was hard to tell which it was.
Couldn't tell.
Could have really gone either way.
I think several people had stayed there and just hadn't touched the cups. The closet in the bathroom had, cigarette butts, but up on the top shelf there was like a bungee cord and a wadded up a couple of receipts. And the favorite thing for the room, a DVD of Lisa Left Eye Lopez, Crazy Sexy Cool. Yeah. I mean, if you had to stage a room for hidden camera thing just to like get shocked patron faces, this was the room, because like, oh, the expectations are high. It was a weird campus.
Yeah.
It was like
the layout was just weird.
It made no sense. It was like indoor, outdoor, like decking
up and
pathways
down
and stairs and crazy town, weird stuff.
Like in case of emergency or fire, it would have been a hot mess trying to get out.
No, I mean you can't. No, there's no way. It would just been nutso. But it was just a terrible place to stay.
You took pictures, so if they find your Yelp review, they'll see your pictures of all of this.
Yeah, see, and most of my Yelp reviews, I'm nice. Oh, here we go. This is now Ramada by Wyndham Monument.
Ooh,
so
maybe it's improved.
Let's see, what year was this?
Let's hope it improved.
This was in 2016, July of 2016. If you look for Ben H., it's terrible. Yeah. Let's see what else is on the list here. A dirty towel, a broken keychain, trash behind the dresser. And the breakfast. That's right. You were gluten-free.
I was gluten-free at this point.
Because you were doing
and
some
not
diet
doing
reworking.
artificial sweeteners.
Right. And I think the breakfast buffet, I'm putting that in finger quotes here, was like wrapped honey buns.
Yeah. The only thing I could eat
like Trix yogurt.
Were the pre-packaged hard-boiled eggs.
It was a mess. Oh, here's the cover of the DVD. That's so funny. Ugh.
So after that, we were at your sister's house. It was a much nicer stay. I can say that 100,000%.
No cool DVDs left in our closet.
Yeah. But,
thank you, Sarah.
And it was fun. We went to the Air Force Academy. We got
beautiful.
to see so many things, and then went up to Denver, stayed a couple days there. Then went up to Steamboat Springs, and we're there.
Mount Evans.
We went up to the top of Mount Evans. Then
it's the highest road, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the United States.
Yeah, because Mount Evans is taller than Pikes Peak.
Yeah, and there's no wait. You just drive to the top.
Now it's a scary drive.
Guardrails? Who needs guardrails at 13,000 feet?
Oh my gosh. No, but the wildlife going up was beautiful.
Right.
I mean, it was all, and of course, we were blown away, being from where we were from, that here it was the end of June into July, and there was still snow.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool and crazy. That was like our little like, ooh, look, there's snow. How crazy is this?
Yeah. Well, when all we'd had for a while was ice storms over the winter, too. No good snows. Any good snow looks amazing.
Well, and our section of the Appalachians weren't that way at all.
Oh, for college?
Yeah.
No.
Well, even in Kentucky,
No.
they're not snow covered.
No.
For
Not
the
like
full
that.
summer or
No.
for the full winter, I meant. Of course, they're not covered in the summer. But
snowy Kentucky summer
summers,
mountains.
Yes, those snowy summers. But it was so cool to see all of that. And I took so many flower photos of all of the different flowers and things like that. Maybe I'll use those for something. I haven't done anything with them yet. They're still just sitting on my phone, the amount of pictures I have. But from there out to Steamboat. Steamboat was really cool. We went to a rodeo.
Never been to a rodeo before.
I'd never done a rodeo, and it was
we could literally say, I'm sorry, this is my first rodeo.
Yeah, it was our first rodeo. And it was so interesting. And I still don't know how I feel about it. There was so much to kind of unpackage
Yeah.
with it that I can't say yay rodeo or nay rodeo.
Mutton busting.
But
Yeah.
I kind of felt for the animals
Okay.
in a way. But I don't know. I
mean, the ones that are being ridden around, I mean, the horses are fine.
But the bulls and things like that.
Oh, well, okay,
and
sure.
that was where I was a little bit leery.
Okay.
Just about the way that was done. Now the horses, no, they love that. That's exercise for them.
Yeah.
It's
It's exercise for the bulls.
But the bulls are doing because they're trying to get something on they don't want on
know.
them.
Yeah.
So it's one of those. I kind of had mixed feelings.
Yeah.
There were parts like the clowns were hilarious. So the comedy routine with all of that was great. But yeah, just some mixed feelings. We missed the thing I wanted to see.
Yep. My mind was already there.
Because it was the very last day.
Yep.
And they were doing ski jumping in July.
We had a lot of driving to do, so we had to bug out
It was
early.
just one of those, it was like, we can't stay any longer.
Yep.
We have to go ahead and go. But,
Wasn't that a 10-day trip?
oh, it was crazy long. It
was
just
a
kept going.
Super long vacation.
I think it was over 10 days that we were gone. But they were ski jumping with no snow.
It was like an AstroTurf ski
with
jump.
brushes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how do you do that and not kill your knees? And I mean, it was just like, there were so many questions I had on this. And I'm always been fascinated by ski jump to begin with.
Yeah.
Ski jumping, pole vaulting, all of those like crazy jumping things like totally fascinate me. I had a dream the other night. I was a hobbyist pole vaulter.
Okay.
that was a thing. But
You start having dreams about downhill curling, let me know.
I will. Who knows?
I'm sending this rock down to you.
Whee! So
That's my other t-shirt. Gator dancing and downhill curling.
the merch makes itself, folks. Anyway,
I
so
mean, it's good. I don't have to draw it.
when we left Steamboat, we came back a different route.
Yeah, we went out through Casper, Wyoming.
Wyoming was so cool.
No, Wyoming's beautiful.
I enjoyed it. We were like,
Now, side note, I need to get you to spend some more time in Wyoming besides that
Yeah.
little tippy corner we went through.
We went through the corner. We saw Cheyenne
Yeah,
briefly.
but you
we
need
saw
to see
like a
western and northern Wyoming.
We saw a real old west town though, driving through there.
Like movie set Old West.
That was pretty cool. Not a ghost town, like
No.
an actual lived-in town. And so that finally hit those like, oh, this is the West, you know, different from what I'm used to. And not
Super
that the
cool.
mountains were different, the trees were different.
The pronghorn antelope everywhere. Like they were squirrels everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very different, you know, just like deer. Then I enjoyed that. Now, the fact that we were there at 5 a.m. for the most part, so we had to leave so early.
Yeah, but I like sunrise driving.
We did sunrise driving, but it also meant that like nothing was open to even stop to go in a general store or
No.
anything like that while we were driving through.
Well, I'd need boots and spurs at the mosey in.
Well,
I'm
you know,
inexperienced with my moseying.
worth it.
Worth it. Tell me dance, partner. Pow, 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 pow. When I walk in the door, you're not jingling enough, boy.
Is this a promise?
Is this a promise?
I want this.
What?
I want to see this.
You want to see me moseying with spurs?
I'm like, and then
Or do you
somebody.
want to see somebody
the
shoot at my
dance-
feet so I have to dance?
Well,
Which one are you going for?
I don't know. I kind of like the whole package because
Jeremiah's weighing it out over here.
I kind of
Both. The Mosey dance. Jingle, jingle, bang, bang. That's my next shirt. The Mosey dance. I'm going to become a millionaire. And Jeremiah says I need to get a lower back tattoo. It says the Mosey dance.
Jingle, bang, bang.
Jingle, jingle, bang, bang. That's a lower back tattoo. Oh, sweet Moses. Well, it's 22 minutes in, and this is stuff that doesn't happen every day.